Greetings, Minecrafters, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone, to all of you everywhere. And happy day to anyone who's choosing not to celebrate Thanksgiving. It just doesn't have any importance whatsoever. Happy day, because our life minutes are important always, no matter what day it is. Okay, so I forgot if I said welcome Minecrafters. So anyway, I'll say it again. Welcome Minecrafters. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am so thrilled to have this chat today because I'm a big fan of Chosen Family, and especially at this time of year, right on through the holidays. And again, I'm pro-inclusivity, so happy for everybody who's got a big, nice, happy family, happy friend circle of origin. That's just fantastic. And I also want to acknowledge those of us who have, through the years, thankfully acquired Chosen Family, which is awesome because I know for myself, and now I'm so grateful that I said this in the other video, my wonderful husband, who I call Superman, and my 5 amazing young adult children, and the sun rises and sets on all of them, plus a few children we have by love who kind of live with us here and there, and they know who they are. And my wonderful in-laws, and you know, the work environments. I've been so blessed to have friends, you know, kind of everywhere I go. And that said, I'm a good fit for this video, like I said, kind of in the last one, because I really truly get what it's like, you know, to be a child dependent on sick people. And that's just basically what I'm saying. Dysfunction, I'm not saying with blame. That is so not the point. Not the point at all. I'd like to believe that people do the best they can and, you know, long since move forward from it and all that. The purpose of the video is to hopefully spread positivity and share, you know, sort of how I've sort of made it along the path, turning wounds into wisdom, because thank God for my chosen family. Because here's the thing, we cannot control the families we're born into, at least as far as any of us know, you know, we cannot control that. So when you're this little 2-year-old or 4-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old teenager or whatever, struggling because we're dependent on people, you know, who've got a lot of dysfunctional behavior going on, quite possibly shame-based. I know growing up in an addicted household, you know, breathing shame was like breathing oxygen. I mean, just only not as healthy, right? And so, you know, kind of that gets into your hard drive, right? And then we start seeking it out without even knowing we're seeking out more, you know, shame messages, you know, letting us know how flawed and defective we are and all that sort of thing. And so, you know, switching that over, I just want to mention that, you know, Chosen Family in my life have been just invaluable. And I'm trying not to get choked up talking on a video because the tears just want to roll down in gratitude, not sadness, gratitude, because I have the most amazing family members. Again, my husband and kids, and also I've got some, and they know who they are, you know, quote unquote friends who have actually got upgraded to family members along the way in my life. And they really truly are family. It's not just saying they're family. And so statistically speaking, I know there's a lot of you out there who are kind of in my shoes. We know that roughly, you know, by 18 years old, roughly 40% of grown-ups, I'm not sure we're calling 18-year-olds grown-ups, but that's the line where we're drawing for the trauma thing, have experienced some sort of trauma, okay? And trauma, by definition, it's because it's different from big stress. It means something so huge, and one person's trauma may not be another person's trauma, that it actually rewires the brain, because trauma is when something happens that overrides the mind's ability to cope. And then we spend a lot of time in recovery, and hopefully, you know, again, these videos are also, disclaimer, not meant to take the place of therapy and with a professional or anything like that. Go do your thing. These are meant to complement all that. The thing is to validate, because last I knew was 1 out of 3, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3, I think, adults out there, roughly, have grown up with one addicted parent, right? I grew up with 2 alcoholic parents. And so, I mean, it's just a different life. I don't regret 1 minute of it, though I don't want to relive it. I would not change a thing, not a thing, because I absolutely like and love who I am, and all the growth that came out of all that adversity was so well worth it. Again, I don't want to relive it, but way worth it. So worth it to feel so great in my skin. I don't think I've ever felt better in my skin. So here's the thing, what I want to say is, chosen family absolutely are as valuable, if not more to you, depending on your life circumstances, than original family. And they're one of the most common ways that narcissistic people, let's rephrase that, people with narcissistic behavior, if you want to separate it out, one of the most common ways they gaslight somebody in the family, especially that person who had the role of the scapegoat, is to say things like, oh, well, blood is thicker than water. And actually, if you want to look up more on that, Dr. Ramani, yeah, she's on YouTube and she's really good with the whole narcissistic behavioral personality thing. But blood is thicker than water. Like, when I had that said to me as a kid, I'm like, what the heck? So metaphorically speaking, that's such a load of crap, because love is love is love is love is love. And if somebody really truly loves you, think of all the adopted children whose parents went out of their way, and they flew on planes, and they did whatever they did to adopt, to get that child to love and just watch them grow and just, so that's all a load of BS, because love is love is love, whether you're born to the person or not. And that's just it. And for me, it took me a while to really, even though I was thankfully acquiring these wonderful people in my life the whole way through, my rooftop friends, mom, all my St. Mike's people, and just oh my gosh, all the way through. And still you have to kind of work through, like, is this the same? Yes, it is. It's the same, and maybe even better, because that's that old thing. And sometimes religions hold us to that, the honor of their mother and father, and how dare you look elsewhere for your good feelings, and for you to also be loving them back. That's all crap. And I know that I wrestled with that for a while, and then I really came to terms with it, that honor their mother and father. And again, everybody did the best they can. I'm definitely only good vibes, only good energy sent to them. Go with God. Go with God. Go with God. That said, and at least on my end, honor needs to be earned. It needs to be deserved. I'm not going to, throw all kinds of honor, it's somebody whose behavior has been horribly abusive, and neglectful and actually hateful. No, it's just no. And so we can give ourselves permission to go and seek out our own family, in a partner, in just regular family, just regular people that you choose to spend your holidays with, people you choose to spend your non-holiday days with, people you look up to, people you can't wait to share an accomplishment with, people you can't wait to share you with, your story, people who are excited to watch you succeed and rise up. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. Those are your chosen family. And there also, of course, there's also a blend, because you might have some good family of origin, and then you might have a couple of toxics. Okay, and people, for some reason, think they have to hang on to toxics. Like, there's this should, ought to, whether your religion, the Catholic thing with, and we are Catholic, so it's okay for me to, honor their mother and father, and just, throw all kinds of good stuff all over them forever. Not when they're cruel and abusive your whole life. No, that's just not how it works. And so people, we want to have people in our lives who are worthy. So the toxics, we're not talking about people who are just, maybe they're a lot of work, maybe they're annoying, and maybe there's a whole range, right? Because life happens on a spectrum. There's like a little annoying, and there's absolutely narcissistic, abusive, toxic here. Okay, and then there's a whole middle. So we're not saying to just give up on people like this. That is not my message, because none of us are perfect or even close to perfect, and we all make mistakes, especially when we're hurt, angry, hungry, tired, and don't feel well, kind of like adult 2-year-olds. We say stuff and we hurt people, without really meaning to, because we're not in our best place. And we're talking, forgive it, let it go, all of it. Forgive it anyway, even if they're way over here, right? So you can move forward. But the whole thing we're talking about is toxics who really keep at it. And you know who they are, because they're like drinking turpentine for breakfast instead of orange juice. They're just, they don't show excitement when you achieve things. Maybe they're jealous. Maybe they actually try to bring you down. And this behavior is super consistent, very consistent. They're going to continue to bring you down, continue to stick pins in your happy bubble, continue with the jealousy and the envy and the shame-based messaging that something's flawed and defective in you. Those are the people, when that behavior is consistent, need to be released like helium balloons, like, and that's, what I did with both my parents. Again, wish them nothing but good stuff. It just wasn't a good fit to be, wasn't a good fit for me because it was just poisonous, I guess, for lack of a better word. So validating, the whole point of the video is just to validate yourself. You know how you feel, and don't let anybody challenge that. That's where I was going with the gaslighting before. I forgot to, I think, follow up on that one. Okay, so the word gaslighting, when people are who are narcissistic, or they'll say their behavior is narcissistic, they will often say that blood is thicker than water thing. One of the most common ways narcissistic people gaslight, again, are people with narcissistic behavior, however you want to say it. So gaslighting, I'll just say it quickly if you don't know, and it's a very big word, it's a very big accusation. So I've corrected students before, if you're just mad at somebody or somebody said something snarky, that's not the same thing. Gaslighting is highly abusive, highly, highly, highly abusive, and it's very subtle. So people, it's easy to kind of fall into the trance of a gaslighter because it's subtle and it's persuasive, highly manipulating. And what they do is they kind of, with their words, kind of persuade you to challenge your own reality. So basically, in a nutshell, it's making you think like you're the one with the problem, you're the one who's crazy. When the narcissist is acting out all over the place, and it's making you challenge your own reality in your head, like, wow, is that really me? Is it, And so that blood is thicker than water thing, and count on us, we're your family. Not if you're not worthy of it, you don't deserve it, then no. You don't deserve my trust, you don't deserve my loyalty, you don't deserve any of it. So that's a big no thank you. So it's very important to realize when people are, if that was your life, realize that when that was said to you, that was not about you, had nothing to do with you, and that now, thankfully, as adults, as grown-ups, we can choose who is in our lives. It's kind of, to me, I look at it like an athletic team. You got to be Kimmy worthy. So those who make the number one cut, like obviously my A team lives under this roof, right? And I've got my rooftop friend, and I've got Yoda, and I can go on and on with the professor and everybody else. Who are right up here, right? They've got to be Kimmy worthy, first string, and then you've got second string. They're good too. You only have so much, it's like layers of an onion. You only have so many people on the inside, right? Then you've got your second string, and then you've even got your bench, and they're okay because they might kind of pull you up, by the bootstraps. It might be your fun people. They might be, and they're good. And then we have those who just didn't make the cut. They just don't make the cut because they are not worthy of you. They don't deserve your loyalty. I'm a huge loyalty person. My husband and I both are. My rooftop friend, my St. Mike's people, loyalty is like our number one. They don't deserve your loyalty. They don't deserve your trust. They don't make the cut. They don't make the cut. So not only are they not on the bench, because those people are okay, they pinch hit a little bit. They're not even in the gym. In fact, they're not even in the auditorium. They're not even on the sidewalk outside the auditorium. Why? Because they are not worthy of you. So this is where we need to empower ourselves and, step away from the shoulds and ought tos, because that's just very rigid thinking. We don't have to do anything, right? What they say is die and pay taxes. Well, not on this day, okay? We don't, as grown-ups, we can, I'm a big voice and choice person. We can now grab our voice back, and we can realize that we have choice. We have voice and choice. We are empowered. And we don't need to have anybody in our lives who we don't want there. And the idea is not to just cut them out and make a big statement, right? Quietly effective is what I like to say. Just let them go. Let them go. And then here's the thing. Let all of it go for you. Forgive them. Forgive you. For me, I forgave them, my parents and whoever else toxics in my life, mostly them. I forgave them, and I forgave me for this being the best I can do. It's not a good fit. They need to go on and move on, and so forgive whoever, forgive yourself, which just means it doesn't give anybody a pass. They don't get a pass. Behavior was horrible, especially when it's an adult and a child. When it's an adult, it might be 40, 60% fault. Little kids in a sandbox, one gets a timeout because you whack somebody with a shovel. When it's ever an adult and a child, it is 100% of the time, 100% of the time, the adult's fault. It ended that conversation. So forgive whomever and forgive yourself. Remember, it doesn't give anybody a pass. I'll use Claudia Black's example here. Sorry, phone just went off. Claudia Black's example, and she was one of the leaders in the ACOA movement back in the 80s. And she said, like people say, forgiving is forgetting, right? Well, forgiving has nothing to do with forgetting. Forgiving has absolutely nothing to do with forgetting, and it has everything to do with remembering and choosing to move forward. It has everything to do with remembering and choosing to move forward. So it has nothing to do with the person gets a pass. We don't need an apology. Plus, they could be dead and then we're not getting an apology. We take control of it. It's on us, because when we let go of the toxics, release them like helium balloons, and we actually let go of all of it, it's huge, because it's a gift we give ourselves. And who else said this is coming to me right now? I didn't plan this, but it's just synchronicity coming. Dr. Jakes, also a friend of Oprah and I. She's in our friendship circle. They just don't know. Dr. Jakes says it beautifully. He says to hang on to all that past history is at the expense of our destiny. To hang on to that past history is at the expense of our destiny. So we only have so much emotional energy in any one day, like 100%, right? To give to our chosen family, those who made the cut, to give to our golden retriever, to give to work, to give to a project, to give to the new book we're writing. We only have 100% of our energy. Why in the world would we even take 10% out of that energy of that day to think about something from 5 years ago that somebody did to us that really doesn't deserve to be in our lives anyway? So as if they didn't take enough the first time, now we're giving them more. Ridiculous, okay? So today is a great day, all right? Happy Thanksgiving, to embrace any chosen family you have. Well, embrace all your family, of course. The family of origin, if you're a blend, you've got both, good for you. And if you are lean kind of towards your chosen family, just be grateful for these wonderfuls, these lovelies in your life. And that's really all I want to say, besides happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a good one.